Movie and Music Network, offering underground, pop, and esoteric cinema. Discover more at movieandmusicnetwork.com.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm here with Lisa and Leah, and we're going to talk about the Best Actor and Actress nominations for the Academy Awards. Let's get the big issue out of the way first. There are no people of color in this list.
2 years ago, the LA Times released a lengthy study about the composition of the Academy and talked about how it is predominantly white, male, and over 55. And that was followed subsequently with films like Django Unchained and 12 Years a Slave. I think that what winds up, we find is that black films tend to happen in cycles. Other films with other people of color, whether they be Latino or Asian, tend to happen even less frequently than films that cycle with black people in them. And I think that, I think it's interesting that people have noted it, and it almost feels a little automatic this time, though, people's response or reaction to the dearth of diversity.
Well, you think given everything that's been happening in the last 6 months?
I think it was kind of, it wasn't a slow build this time, it was kind of like people noticed it immediately. And it was jarring and shocking to people, given the fact that we went from 12 Years a Slave to a big zip.
Well, and I noticed it immediately too. I was one of the people who noticed it immediately. But as someone who votes for, in these categories, not for the Academy Awards, but for the Critics' Choice Awards, I have to say, race never comes into it. I don't think, oh, let's see, I've nominated 4 actors and they're all white, so I better get an actor of color.
Right.
It's totally on merit. And I like to think that that's pretty much the way people do it.
But I think that to comment on it at the Academy Awards period of time is a little disingenuous. It's really reflective of a larger practice in Hollywood.
Exactly.
And so to raise protest at this stage of the game is really beyond the 12th hour. You need to look at, okay, well, what was available for people to nominate? And so it's a larger issue of whether Hollywood is invested in making films where we have diverse casts or they're starring diverse populations, whether they be people of color, women, people who are otherly beautified, whether they have gay narratives to them, right? These are stories that, that might be a little too culturally specific, and people abroad aren't gonna buy these films, so we're not even gonna make them.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Best Actor and Best Actress nominations, who we think will win and who we think should win. I guess I'll start with who I think will win.
Best Actor?
Yes,
okay.
Best Actor. I'm going to go ahead and say Michael Keaton. And the main reason is, first of all, it's a terrific performance. There's no doubt in that. But second of all, it kind of reminds me of the situation where Jeff Bridges was nominated for Crazy Heart several years ago. And you know, they're both well-respected actors. They've been in the business a very long time. They've done good things, and so this is kind of like well, he's done a really great thing. He's been around a really long time. I think this is the year.
No, I think Eddie Redmayne's going to take it. He did, well, both Michael Keaton and Eddie Redmayne got Golden Globes. To me, the Academy loves somebody who's challenged, who's got a physical challenge or a mental challenge or something like that. They love that. And I thought Eddie Redmayne's performance was spectacular.
He's terrific,
Loved Michael Keaton as well, thought he was wonderful, but I thought Eddie Redmayne's transition, his transformation, complete inhabiting of his character.
I agree, Eddie Redmayne's performance was fantastic, and he is my backup choice. And I'm gonna side with what I think is a popular favorite. I think that Stephen Hawking is a little bit like Oscar bait, you know?
Yes,
I think he is a little bit like that.
It's kind of how Alan Turing is a little bit like it as well. But Cumberbatch was fantastic as well.
Right. And so then I go with Michael Keaton. He is intense. He knows how to pull back. He has a tremendous dynamic presence on the screen. He has a tremendous range, given the fact that he's typically a comedic actor. And I think that Hollywood loves to be able to pat itself on the back with comeback stories.
Yeah.
And so I think that Michael Keaton will be the one who will win.
And also if you take into consideration, if you go with the theory that the Academy is made up of mostly older white guys and that they vote for their own, Michael Keaton has it hands down. But I'm still betting on Eddie Redmayne.
Well, what do we think about women?
I'm psyched to see Rosamund Pike nominated. I think that's really cool. I'm a little upset that Jessica Chastain was not nominated
for
Most Violent Year.
Most Violent Year.
I thought she was fantastic in that. I think it's going to be Julianne Moore all the way. I'm going to say will and should win because that performance was pretty ridiculous. It definitely holds the film together. I mean, the film's pretty good, but she's what seals the deal for me. And she won the Golden Globe. She's very long overdue. Nominated a great many times and has never won.
This is going to be one of those times when I think people will vote for her, adding her body of work in there as well. I mean, regardless of the fact that the performance was just amazing, it really was great, but also, you know, with her body of work. And I know a lot of people were talking about that as we were discussing who we were going to vote for the Critics' Choice Awards. A lot of people were saying, oh, you know, you have to vote for her for that alone. So, you know, they try to influence each other, of course. But no, I thought she did a great job. I think she deserved. I think she will and should. But I think you have a different opinion.
No, I'm right there with you. I think Julianne Moore will and should as well. I think that it was raw. You know, there was a raw element, a really kind of bare bones, stripped down element to her performance, which we love because it's like we want to see people bare their guts. And I think that it also adding to the mix is her body of work. And then when you add that it's a tragic character on top of that, it's an ideal mix for a really powerful actress to be able to pull off without it being movie of the week material.
Cheers to actors and actresses. Just talk about our feelings. Okay.